Don't give a shit to what the sizing says on the labels, because you know how the shops are these days. Hi guys, so I'm back again with another video, and today this is actually a reader's request from Instagram, and they asked me, how do I manage to make inexpensive clothes look chic or more expensive than they actually are? And I thought it was such a good question that I would do a blog post on it, and I will link to that blog post below. And it's something that you should just bookmark and keep, because it's a guideline that I think will just last forever. I thought, why not take it a step further and actually do a video about that blog post as well. Alright, so the first thing I want to say is to pick the right cut. Cut, cut, cut. It's everything. It's absolutely everything, which is probably why I shop high, low and unisex. So I shop in men's and women's, because I'm sort of thinking genderless, and I'm thinking about the cut of everything. Now, for example, I mean, this is a little bit out of season, but it's just a good example because I like the way it fits. I have a coat that I got from H&M years and years ago. It's a leopard print coat, and I'll insert a picture for it here. And what I like about that coat so much, and why I get so many sort of comments about it, is the cut of it, the shoulders, the way they just fit perfectly on what I call your corners is just spot on. And I think, to me, that is one of the things that you need to look for when you are shopping for a blazer, for example. Just look for the way it corners your shoulder here. If that seam sort of goes down here a little bit, unless it's meant to be cut draped, that's a different story if it's a drop shoulder. But if it's not, it needs to really hit that corner right there, so it creates that just fantastic sharp line, and everything just flows after that. And don't forget, don't look at the sizing of it. It doesn't matter. All that matters is not the label on it, it's just how it fits you. If you can get sizing correct, then you have kind of got it all, really. I always recommend to go up 1 or 2 sizes, if not 3 sizes on clothes. I will insert an H&M coat that I have, and that is a size 16 US, and I don't usually, in fact I've never worn that size before, but it worked for me, and that's why I bought it. And it's just an example to show you that you don't have to be a slave to the sizing in shops, because you could be in J. Crew to Club Monaco to Zara to shopping in a department store like Saks or Bergdorf Goodman, you name it, across section, and everywhere you are a different size, aren't you? It's never the same. So ignore the sizing on the labels. You'll probably feel a lot happier as well that you are. And always just eyeball everything that you're looking at, because at the end of the day, that is important. You want items to skim off your body. Think about fashion models and think about clothes on hangers in general. When you pick them up, they hang, they skim, they drape. Why do they do that? Because they are sized correctly, or they are falling off the body correctly. I mean, I'm like, sod it. Everyone wants to be a size 24 or a size 2 in denim, but I'm like, you know, I just want to look good. And if that means I have to sacrifice numbers and go up a couple of sizes, and I know that it's going to hang properly, then that's all that matters. So go up a couple of sizes. Don't be afraid to, whether it's jeans, I do it all the time. I do it with shirts like this. I do it with dresses. I always size up. So don't be afraid to do it as well. Another example of something that's oversized in my wardrobe is this pleated skirt from Topshop. This I got from the tall range because I knew I wanted to have, again, that oversized feel to it. I've worn this to death. I'll insert some pictures of it. But again, I wear this slung low on my hips. Going up oversized is always a win. I mean, look at this, look at this shirt. See what I'm talking about? That oversized look. I'm telling you. Get oversized clothes. I'm not talking about things that they're so big that it can't fit you, but to have that feel, it just, well, one, you don't feel fat. It's just going to skim over your bum. It goes over all your lumps and bumps. Belts, 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 belts. Belts are your life savior. They are such a good way to revolutionize, I'm going to say revolutionize, what you already have in your wardrobe. You can belt over blazers and completely change the silhouette of them. You can belt over coats and do the same thing. I prefer to use a skinny belt for those type of looks, but I know that the current season has been showing a lot of trending towards wider corset style belts, which do look really cool as well. But for those who are just sort of experimenting with how to wear belts, I would suggest getting yourself good leather belt. Try and get a black, brown, or white, which to me acts as a black in a way because it's neutral and can go with almost anything. And go for a finish that is very dull. And I also have this other one here, which I found from a vintage shop. I found it in, I think it was Brimfield Flea Market. Absolutely stunning. This cinched in at your waist over a summer dress is absolutely outstanding. It just looks so good on. Just belt over unexpected items. I have that Zara cardigan I'll insert and show you here. I belt that all the time. I belt coats all the time. It's just a way to change something that you already have. You know those skinny scarves that Zara did a couple of seasons ago, the black ones? Well, I took it and I threaded it through instead, the trench coat. And I just like that combination of just like this. Just tie it. And I've just worn like a pair of straight cut rigid jeans and a t-shirt underneath. Boom, and I'm just out. And that to me is just absolutely perfect. Again, remember I was saying about the material. This is drapey, it's oversized, so it's got that swing to it. So when you're walking, it just gives off the vibe of things which are more expensive, because items which cost more tend to have a better performance when you're wearing them. When I say performance, they just hang better, they just swing better and drape better when you're moving. I'm speaking in general here, so I'm just talking about shops overall. You're personalizing your style, and that is important. You're giving your own stamp on what you think looks really cool. That in itself just reads as chic to me. Length. Length is key. Length is everything. It's up there with oversize. If there's one thing I can tell you to make inexpensive things read as being expensive or chic, as we call it, as I'm calling this video, it's to get items that are longer. Midi skirts, midi dresses, or you can have an oversized, like I said before, jacket, and you've got like something, maybe a short skirt underneath. So you've got that balancing of the oversized blazer with the short skirt, but because the blazer is long, it just reads as having a much more sort of sophisticated look to it. When I wear skirts these days, all of my pleated skirts are long. You're sort of mimicking the feel of expensive clothes, which have that kind of oversized, generous look to them. And if you look at the fashion trends currently going on at the moment, everything is sort of moving towards that look of having items which are oversized, which fall and hang a little bit longer than normal. And you're trending everywhere is longer line skirts worn with whether it's kitten heels or a pair of full high heels. But the skirt length has dropped, it's longer now, and it still feels young and it still feels fresh. Again, it goes back to that term, it reads as much more chic because the material that you're choosing is better, you're sizing it correctly, and you're just wearing it in a longer way that's just going to flatter and hang and skim off of your body. Look for thicker materials that tend to have a weight to them. For example, with pleated skirts, I tend to look for the very defined pleats. They call them knife pleats because when you walk, they have an incredible flare and pattern when you're moving. So they have a beautiful sort of accordion look when you're moving around, and that's what you get when you have a very defined pleat on the skirt. So that's another tip to look out for. I have this dress and it is inexpensive. I found it on a clearance rack. I think I paid about $50 for it. But if you look at the details of it, it looks absolutely stunning. It's really beautiful. And it was mistaken by someone for being a self-portrait dress, and it's not. But it just has such a beautiful look to it that it easily could have been. So it's important to just pay attention to details. Look closely at materials. When you're thinking about fabric, don't go for anything that is too sheer, because if it's too sheer and too thin as well, then it's going to pull and sit incorrectly on your body, and you don't want that because that's going to read as being inexpensive and cheap. Try and go for materials that are thicker, materials that don't bobble, because you don't want that, because that also tends to look inexpensive. I have a pet peeve with linings under dresses and under skirts. You want linings that are long enough to match the hem hem, or at least come close to the hem of the garment. If they are like what I call 50% linings, which are half down your leg, and so when you're walking, you can actually see the rest of your leg and you can see the lining, that's never a good look to me. And so I always pay attention to linings on items that are semi-transparent. Make sure the lining is as long as the hem or close to it as possible. If not, get a slip so you can make it work for yourself. Sticking with fabrics, I want to talk a little bit about denim jeans. Currently, everything is trending towards high-waisted denim cut jeans, which have a straight leg and a raw hem to them. I think those are absolutely fantastic. They tend to suit most women, and they tend to flatter more women than I think skinny jeans do, which kind of go like that and then go downwards, because most women are very sort of curvy and pear-shaped, generally speaking. So with denim, I would say go for the most classic rigid cut materials. So I'm talking Levi's, Wranglers, but really it's Levi's and vintage Levi's especially, and also H&M. That's actually my favorite for denim jeans. So it's between those two brands, Levi's and H&M, and I always go for the rigid material. It has a really nice slouch to it, and again, it feels like something that's timeless, because to me, when I think of what's chic, I think of what is timeless and what is something that maybe you could see elements of in the past, good things from the past, and you can wear it today and beyond, and it just goes beyond what is currently trending. I find that over time, when you're washing them and over the years, they just wear in, they get better and better. Let's just show you a close-up of the one that I'm currently wearing for filming this video. I would say avoid stretch in denim unless it's something that you really need because of the curves of your body and you just don't like that waist to hip ratio. But generally speaking, I would say avoid sort of jegging type denim, because that just to me just emphasizes any lumps and bumps. That rule is just about either you're showing your arms or you're showing your legs, but not both. Again, this is just a very personal thing that I personally like. Obviously, if you want to show both, do you. I've always said that. Everyone's got their own style and aesthetic, so do what is right for you. But I like the look of either or. So if you're wearing a short mini skirt, so you've got your legs out, correct? Then the arms are covered. So you'd wear maybe like an oversized men's shirt like this. So you have that just very classic, but it's really simple. It looks chic at the same time. And it's just a nice way to make something as sort of, I don't know, ubiquitous as a denim skirt look chic and like you didn't try too hard. And the same way for a long skirt, you got the heavy weight of a long skirt, so contrast it the other way and wear like a slimmer fitting t-shirt or a tank top that shows your arms because your legs are covered. Again, it's just that either or principle that's coming into effect. Oh, one bonus thing, which I already mentioned in the other video, but menswear always, to me, makes women look chic. It just does. The cut of something that's meant for a man just hangs really cool on women. It's that same philosophy of you borrowing your husband's or your boyfriend's or your ex or whatever shirt and you just put it on. It just looks, I don't know, it behaves differently than if it was the same item purchased from the women's section. So do consider looking in the men's section. I do it all the time. The grey coat that I showed you earlier, that is from the men's section, and I always get compliments on it, and it looks more expensive than it is. I think the material that they use for men's coats and clothing in general tends to be thicker than it is for women, and thicker quality tends to sort of translate as meaning more expensive, even if it's not. Also, some last minute examples that I have written down here are stick to one hardware color on an outfit, bag included. Obviously, everyone is into mixing and matching with metals, so obviously, again, do you. I will say that the look of just wearing the same sort of colors like golds all together or silvers all together, again, it's just not breaking the eye up and just keeping that continuity to your whole look and just thinking of yourself in your entirety, if that makes any sense. Also, dull hardware tends to look more expensive than shiny hardware. Floral patterns. Try and stay away from the larger floral flowers on prints. Go for smaller prints. I call them ditzy prints. Think of ditzy tea dresses that Topshop is known to do. I'll insert a couple of pictures and link below to good examples of those type of prints. Those floral patterns, they tend to last you for years versus going for a dress that has like 5 giant flowers all over it. Thinking about glasses, go for the chicest, simplest ones. To me, I like a good cat eye and a good pair of aviators, and then that's it. Maybe a pair of round glasses as well, but that's my lot. To me, those are the most classic, they're the most timeless, and they will see you go through every single outfit that you have. At the end of the day, it's never, and I know it's been said before, but it's so true, it's never about who you are wearing, it is how you are wearing it, and it's always been that way. Okay, so that is it. That is the end of my video. I hope that all of that was helpful to you. Please feel free to subscribe to this channel for more videos and hit the like button if you liked what you saw. What else do I want to say? Oh, please follow me on my Instagram. My name is KarenBritChick. It's KarenBritChick everywhere on Snapchat, Twitter. But if you follow me on my Instagram, you can see examples of all these things that I'm talking about there. And I will see you next time. Bye. A much more chic, sort of nonchalant vibe. Nonchalant? Oh, that's chic, isn't it? Anyway, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, why am I doing the prayer sign? I don't know. Yep, you can move. Also, that whole nonchalant vibe, I can't say it. Okay. So that's it. I guess I will see you next time. Bye.